Okay, the current metadata module as I've implemented it. Okay, so I've implemented a metadata part, which you can add to a content item, which we've done here. Basically, right out of the box, this module supports, or the metadata part supports, the metadata title or the page title, and also the metadata description. It does support other tags, including keywords and the base Open Graph tags, or the most important Open Graph tags. The general consensus is for SEO and good sharing, and also a couple of Twitter tags, particularly because it leverages the Open Graph tags now, except for a couple of particular Twitter tags are also supported out of the box. So you can, per content item, activate whether you want to support those, but by default, when you add the metadata part to a content item, you're supporting the description and the page title. Now, in order to go and change that, we go up to content items and we go about, and then down here you've got metadata area. Now, I've implemented it because the character count for metadata tags is quite important, as in, like, you know, they say the maximum recommended length for a title tag is around 60 characters. That's not, that's for viewability. So when you see search results, you know, I think that 60 characters is the max you'll see in most displays, and meta description, again, under 160 characters. So it's really important that people are aware of the character count. So I've implemented a small character count a feature. I think this really should be in the base Orchard Core CMS module somewhere, because I think other field types could benefit from using a character count. I've just done this really quickly. I'd like to see it a little bit more accessible, but basically, you know, it just counts your characters, and then, of course, once you go over the limit, then it turns red, just giving you a bit of an indicator. It's not actually preventing you, because a lot of these character count restrictions aren't solid. They're just most optimal. So it doesn't really restrict you. Okay, so page title and metadata description supported out of the box. Now, I think some people are going to argue with me about page title, because currently the title up here is being used as part of the page title. However, I would like to argue that there should be a page title field as part of the metadata, because in this situation here, about is a really good example of the title I want for my content item, but to be optimized for search engine SEO and things like that, about is not the greatest description for the page title. For example, if our company was XYZ company, then about might be what I use as the content item title, but the actual page title I would want to have for Google SEO would be about XYZ company. It wouldn't be about. Having said that, though, what I've done is set it up so the display text of a content item is automatically used for the page title. If you don't, you just leave that blank. And we can talk about that more. I think that brings me to another point. I really feel like currently that the actual configuration and in the settings, there should be an area where you can configure how the page title is formatted. Actually, the best format is to have the page title before the site name, not the other way around. And I think really we should be allowing content managers to set that on a site-per-site basis, rather than having that or encouraging that from the base layout file. So really, I think this should be being configured from a setting up in, you know, the site settings or something like that, maybe the general settings. That's my view. I haven't connected the page title field up to the actual page title at the moment, because I don't know how actually to override the current page title and bring in the site name, and I don't know how to best to do that. So some help there would be great. Metadata description, of course, when we add that, this is my description. Of course, once you publish that, and you have a look at the header, it's added to the header element there. This is my description. Now, currently what I'm doing is I'm adding that through a metadata part template, a Razor template. I think that's not the right approach, so I'd like some guidance on that. Basically, what happens is that I've noticed when I was using the blog theme on the content article, for some reason this template was actually blocking that part template from being used, and it was actually not adding the metadata tags to the particular page when I was using the blog template. So I'm thinking maybe I should be adding the tags in code higher up so they can't actually be blocked. So anyway, guidance on that would be great. That was one thing that I sort of noticed. And also the implementation of this module depends on some small changes to the metadata tag helper, which currently doesn't support the property field. So at the moment, you've got to have the ASP name attribute for the meta tag to render, and the actual property tag's not supported. So I've actually submitted a PR to have that changed. That's around. So let's go back here quickly. Of course, what's happening here on the content types, pretty straightforward, of course, is that if you go in, change the properties, and maybe we want to say support open graph tags, support keywords, for example, and I'll just leave off support Twitter tags. You go through, change the content, and now you've got a bunch of extra fields. Again, I'm cascading the text. So if you leave the open graph title blank or the description blank, it'll go and get the page title or the metadata description and utilize that in the code as the description. So you can leave those blank if you like. I've got that just in the comments. But I think that's important because sometimes you want to write a little bit different description for your social sharing. So you might want to use a bit more clickbaity in your social shares. So you'll want to write a different description there. But sometimes you just want to be lazy and use the description that's already being utilized. The other thing I was thinking, it might be handy to have a way of mapping also these fields to a content field. So if you want, you say, okay, well, I don't want to have a separate metadata description field. I just want to map it to, say, a summary field in my content item. I'm thinking maybe a tweak to the actual way this works is a way of mapping particular tag to fields, as well as also supporting the fact that you might want to just write a particular description or open graph tag. So that's pretty much it. Need a bit of help with this one on a couple of items, but that's a start. Also, I think I need to be able to support the selecting an image, selecting a video. So I haven't done that. I've just left them as text boxes for the moment, but I think it's a good start.